What's up, Elko? What's up, Tulu? About to spray some epoxy. We about to spray some epoxy, boys and girls. We're about to spray some epoxy. About to put some epoxy on this frame. Let everybody get in here. See what everybody's doing. Am I feeling sick? What are you talking about, Elko? Happy birthday, Bruce. Elko, what are you talking about? Am I feeling sick? Oh, no, I ain't sick. I'm not sick, like sick, like bug sick. Where is my energy? What are you talking about? No, I'm not sick. Let me turn these fans off. I'm not sick. I'm just sad. I'm not sick. I'm just sad. So, I ain't sick. I'm just sad. So, yeah. So, I'm not sick. I'm just sad, disgusted, heartbroken, ashamed. Yeah. 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 Love you too, Elko. Yeah. This channel's not about politics and it's not about religion. It's like my guy Tulu says, you're either a good person or you're a bad person. And that's how I see it. You're either a good person or you're a bad person. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, yeah. So, if you don't know what happened in the last 24 hours, then you must live in under a rock or something, and you don't have any social media imprint or anything whatsoever. Again, this is not political. This is not religion. This is just either being a good person or a bad person. That's it. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what none of that. That's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. This is about, we're about to spray the bottom of this 63 Impala. That's what it's about. So Elko brought it up, said, where's my energy? I mean, I can flip a switch. If you give me if you just give me a few seconds, I can go from, I can go from what I am right now, and I can flip a switch, and I can flip a switch and go from just one thing to the next, and I can show you. I mean, I literally can show you. You'll see it live. I mean, you'll see it. It's just, it's heartbreaking to actually be watching something live, literally watching something live, and something happens so terrific and so sinister live on YouTube, on a social media, and you're looking at it like, what did I just see happen? Yeah. Yeah. And then it gets, and then yesterday, I didn't go live again yesterday because I was going to do this yesterday evening. I did go look at that Monte Carlo yesterday. I posted some pictures. That Monte Carlo I went and looked at yesterday, it was an 87. That thing was clean as a whistle, man. Y'all see that interior and that stuff, man? That thing had royal blue interior, had a 305. He said it run in drives. Man, that thing like 5 miles from my house. Look, man, you either a good person or a bad person. And then yesterday, that stuff happened yesterday. And then the thing with the girl on the train car over in Charlotte. And people that celebrate stuff like that, you know, it's a good thing. Man, I don't know what, I don't even know how, I can't even say what I want to say about that. People that wish misery on other people, man, that's beyond me. That's beyond me. But I had so many phone calls yesterday, so many text messages, so many videos, so much stuff was sent to me yesterday from people there. I got people in Utah. I got friends. Hey, one of my friends teaches at the college there at Utah. You know. I think people need to do a lot of soul searching, man. I really do. I really do. I really do. Again, this channel is not about politics. It's not about religion. It's just about being a good person or a bad person. If you want to talk about what happened yesterday, call me. We'll talk about it in private. We're not going to talk about it on this channel because, well, I'm not going to talk about it. That's not what this channel is about. I will say this. My friend Derek Pickney, that is a Purple Heart recipient from the Army, he will be in he will be in Fayetteville tomorrow from 4:30 to 7:30 as a public speaker tomorrow talking about stuff. And it's in a free event tomorrow. I'll put the flyer up in my community post today. It's a free event. If you want to go check it out, go check it out. So, Elko and Tulu said, where's their energy? Elko and Tulu said, where is their energy? All right, boys and girls. I'm going to give you your energy, all right? Elko, Tulu, you ready? You ready for your daily dose? You ready? Y'all ready to spray some epoxy? All right, boys and girls, here we go. Yo, 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 what's up? This is Joe from Innovation Garage in the beach capital of the state, baby. Let's get it. Wakey, wakey, hand off snaky. Let's get it, baby. Let's go, boys and girls. Y'all ready to get some stuff done today? Woo! You better stop playing with my emotions, boys and girls. We're going to get this epoxy on the bottom of this Impala. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, boys and girls. Don't get me in here talking about it. Don't get me in here talking about it. Yes, sir. Let's get after it, boys and girls. Let's get after it. Bam! Just like that. Bam! All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to spray some epoxy. Love to spray some epoxy. We're about to flip the switch, boys and girls. So let's talk about it. Let's do a little recap. Let's do a recap. Let's do a little recap on yesterday, boys and girls. Look here. We got that done yesterday. We got the seam sealer put up on there. We got that epoxy spray. Come on now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look, aluminum foil is your friend. The Dollar General, the aluminum foil is your friend. Aluminum foil is your friend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all remember we cleaned this up just a little bit yesterday, but we're not really going to do much more to this because we don't know. The transmission is done, boys and girls. The transmission is done. Transmission is done. Transmission shop called yesterday and said they had me ready to go. I'll tell you what they found out about the transmission. We got down here yesterday and we cleaned up right here where they bushwhacked this out. We're not going to do nothing right here right yet until we get the drive line back in. And we also noticed right here where the dry shaft adjustable, where, you know, it's a telescopical dry shaft where the grease fitting's at. It was digging into the bottom of the floor pan. So now we're going to take the interior out and cut this and build a new hoop. Come on now, don't do it, don't do it. Here's some more aluminum foil wrapped around these brake lines. We wrapped the airbags back there. Okay. Yeah, if you're going to use a Harbor Freight gun, you know, just for throw it away, yeah, I would actually, you know, spraying tractor enamel and stuff like that. They're good for that. So got all that. Not really worried about the shocks because we're going to replace the shocks anyway. And let's see what else we got going on. So we're gonna spray the chassis. We're gonna spray one light coat down on it. We're gonna turn these fans on right here. We're gonna turn these fans. I'm actually, I really didn't want to use my water, but I'm using the water. I thought I had. It's a good question that you asked about the Harbor Freight guns, cause I was actually gonna use one of them $14 Harbor Freight guns to do this, and then just throw it in the trash. But I'm using my water green cap, which I normally don't like using to spray epoxy, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And boys and girls, I guess this thing has transmission fluid all into the frame rail because y'all see it's still dripping. Y'all see where it dripped all night? So probably we're going to spray a little wax and grease remover right here before we get to spraying on that. We got that wrapped up. We have the, so let me give you an update on the transmission. Let me get the wax and grease remover, and then I'm gonna give you an update on the transmission. So I took the transmission to a different transmission shop this time. The other transmission shop couldn't get to what I needed to get done. So I took it to another transmission shop, which is down at Rockingham, North Carolina, which is close to the, well, son of a gun, which is down close to Rockingham drag strip. Took it down there, dropped it off, told them what I needed to do. Asked them to put the larger ball in there for the 200 PSI. We almost there, Mac. We got about 100. We got about 100 more. So I think about 150. No, 120. I think it's like 120. Let's walk down here and get this wax and grease remover while we talking, okay? We got to talk and walk. So I told him to put the big ball in the transmission so it keeps 200 PSI, maintains 200 PSI. And the reason why you do that is so if you don't get your detent spring or your detent cable, if you don't get your detent cable at 100%, you don't have the you don't have the chance of burning your transmission up. You don't have the chance of burning your transmission up. All right. So you didn't have the chance of burning your transmission up. So he calls me yesterday. Y'all, you know, I told y'all, he said like 10 days. Man, he got that thing knocked out pretty quick. So this is what he said to me yesterday. He said, now this transmission shop is Field Automotive. So if you're in, like Tulu, if you're in the area, just type in Fields Automotive in Rockingham, North Carolina, and it's going to come up. It's going to come up Fields Automotive. Now, I'm going to go on and tell you about Field, right? I take the transmission down there and I drop it off. And he asked me, what do I want? And I said, it's going in a 63 Impala. It's going in a 63 Impala. It has a Blueprint engine in it, which has a mild cam, like a 4, almost a 500 lift cam. And it has like a 288 lift or something, right? Like a stage 2 cam, right? So this is what he said. He said, all right. He said, is this thing going to be like drag strip? And I said, no, man, it's just going to be a cruiser, man. It's just going to be a cruiser. It's just going to be a cruiser. And he said, okay, sounds good. Then he said, all right, what gear are you running? And I told him what gear I'm running. He said, all right, cool, I'll get back with you. He said 10 days, right? Now we're getting ready. We're about to spray some epoxy. We're going to wipe this transmission fluid off, and then I'll get caught up on the comments. So then he says, I said, how much? He said, you're probably looking at $1,800 to $2,000. I said, okay, cool. I said, not a problem. I said, well, just let me know. And then this is how I do business. I said, well, I'm not in a hurry, and I'm not going to bother you. I'm not going to bother you until you need me. And he says, all right, sounds good. So with that being said, he goes, let me set this down so I can talk to y'all. And then we're going to spray some stuff. All right. So then he says, so if y'all looking for a transmission shop, I highly recommend, as of right now, Fields Automotive down there in Rockingham. And the reason why is because this is what he said. He called me and I said, he said, hey man, I got you ready. And I said, all right, what we find out? He said, well, they had the old style three planetary gear system in it. They had a bigger clutch barrel, which only had like 3 or 4 clutches. The servo was drilled out. The barrel was drilled out, and some other stuff. He said, I didn't like the way it looked and this, that, whatever. I said, okay. He said, so I put a Corvette servo in it, so it gives it a little bit more shift, a better shift. I put the big ball in it, so it maintains 200 PSI on the pump and on the detent spring. He also said that we took out the three gear gear system and put the new upgraded 5-gear system in it. It has the 5 helix gears on it. Then he said we changed the barrel in it where you could get more clutches and more fibers. He said, and you know, a new pump and all that good stuff. He said, you're good to go. And he said, I also fixed the detent spring, and you're good to go on that. I said, all right, cool, man. Cool. I said, that sounds great, man. I said, what I owe you. And this right here, this is what it's all about, boys and girls. Now, we're about to spray some epoxy. Y'all stay tuned now. Y'all stay tuned. Because it ain't going to take me long to spray this epoxy. So this is what he said. He said, are you paying cash? How you paying? I said, well, I mean, my client will probably pay with a credit card. And he said, look, man, he said, I'm going to be honest with you, man. If you can bring me cash, he said, it'll save a lot of problems. And I said, yeah, what you talking about? He said, well, if we use a credit card, then I got to charge like 7% transaction fee, because they're going to charge me like 4% to process the credit card or debit card. Then they're going to charge me like 3% for me to get my money. And he said, so that's another 4, 5, 6, 7. So on top of sales tax, which is 7.5%, then I got to charge another 7% on fees and stuff. He said, man, they're going to bust you in the head wide open. And I said, all right. I said, sounds good to me. He said, if you bring me cash, now this is what the guy said now. This is what the guy said. He said, what's up, Cars? He said, if you pay with a credit card, it's going to be $2,200. If you bring me cash, it's going to be $1,500. I said, do what? He says, if you pay me cash, it's going to be $1,500. If you pay with a credit card, it's going to be $2,200. Now, come on, fam. What we going to do? We going to pay cash. That's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's $700 difference. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. What's up, Jonathan? That's $700 difference. So got the transmission took care of. Gonna have to go pick it up. And then got the wool wax ordered yesterday. Got the AC system ordered yesterday. He told me to pick out a shifter that was similar to the LaCar shifter that was in here. So I got to find that. So I think that shifter was like a 6 or 8 inch throw shifter. So I got to find that and get that ordered. We already got the engine. We already got that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit talking and we are going to spray some of this epoxy and we're going to do that. I'm going to turn the fans on, get my mask on, and then we're going to go with it. And then after we do that, we're going to figure out what next thing we're going to do. And then let's talk about, so also yesterday, Elko, my guy. So when I went and looked at that Monte Carlo yesterday, that 87 white Monte Carlo, that thing was a cream puff, boys and girls. Other than the guy said that the guy said that it had a front end damage because the guy he bought it from got drunk in his yard, thought he put it in reverse, but actually put it in drive and run into the galvanized fence post in his yard and messed up the front bumper. But John over at John's Buchanan Auto Sale has an 86 over there that I think has a good front end on it. And he's going to let me know today. And if he's got a good front end on it, then it's a good front end and he gives me a number, then we're going to go take a trip to John's Buchanan over there at the junkyard. And we're going to go over there and see what John's got on his yard again. Y'all always love it when I go to the salvage yard. Y'all love that when I go to the salvage yard. So the guy with the guy with the Monte Carlo yesterday, man, if y'all didn't, he wouldn't let me do no video and he just let me take pictures. He didn't want to be on camera, you know, people like that, and you got to respect that, but he did let me take some pictures. That 86 Monte Carlo was nice. Then 2 houses down, y'all get this now, 2 houses down, there's a lady 2 houses down that, get this, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Had a 1978 Monte Carlo 2-door that she put a brand new engine in it in 1985. And then my guy says she parked it and went and bought a new car. Car's been sitting in her driveway since 1985 or 86. She parked it and went and bought a new car, and the car's been sitting there. You don't think Jay rode by there and put eyes on that son of a gun, did you? Then he told me 2 houses down the other way, oh, Elko is going to be sitting over there in the corner when I tell him this. Elko, don't be sitting over there on that forklift. Elko, don't be sitting on a forklift now. So what I'm about to tell you right now is going to blow your mind. He said, man, that ain't nothing. 2 houses down from me. He said, my daggone, my cousin down there got a 1962 2-door Impala. 2-door Impala. Sitting in his backyard underneath the car garage. I said, dude, what? He said, yeah. I said, SS? He said, yeah. 1962 Impala, 2-door SS car, 2 houses down from me. I said, man, you better stop playing. He said, no. I said, I tell you what, when I come back, you're going to have to take me down there to introduce me to that guy and let me. He said he won't sell it. He said, man, he won't sell it. Been sitting underneath his garage in the back of his house, underneath his garage. He said, man, that thing been there forever. I said, let me talk to him. And let me talk to the woman that's got the 78 Monte Carlo that's been parked since 1985, 1986. So three old schools within 2 or 3 houses from each other. And these people are like 8 miles from my house. Yeah, that's right, TJ. Right number ain't went across them ears, has it? All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn these fans on. Let me turn these fans back on. Let me go ahead and clarify something right quick. This channel is not about religion. This channel is not about politics. If you drop anything in the chat about religion or politics, my mods will take care of you. They will get rid of you. This is not the channel for that. If you want to talk religion and politics, come see me. And then we'll go from there. But let's turn these fans on so we can get some fan flow going on. All right, boys and girls. So I'm gonna try to get y'all as much content as possible on this. I gotta get a respirator because this shit is nasty. I'm talking nasty. Gotta get a respirator. I just had it. I thought I did. Where, oh, where are you tonight? I searched the world over. Damn if I know. I guess I toted it down there to the paint booth. All right, let's walk down here to the paint booth, get my mask. I guess I had it in my hand when I walked down here. Hey, congratulations, Mac. Did you say you hit 6K? Mac, did you say you hit 6K? Is that what you said? I think I seen that in the thing. I was in the middle of something. Ha! Finally, JG is showing his age. What are you talking about, Mike? Mike, what you talking about? Oh, I got you. I had it in my hand. It's a nice day. Look at that big eye in the sky. That big eye in the sky. All right, we're gonna spray some of this epoxy. Oh yeah. I just got the bare metal covered up. Whew. And then when the wool wax gets here, we're gonna spray the whole bottom of the car in wool wax. What's up, Chris Fisher? Got any of them Willy Wonka tickets? All right, so a lot of people probably gonna say, why ain't you spraying that? I said, I'm gonna say I am spraying it. And then a lot of people were like, well, hey man, spray some product on there. And I'm gonna say, yeah, we are spraying product on there. It's like, man, you ain't really spraying nothing on there. And I'm gonna say, yep, you're right. I'm just lightly dusting it. And the reason why I'm lightly dusting it is because, God damn, that shit's strong. I ain't got no mask on. The reason why I'm lightly dusting it is because lighter coats will dry faster than thick coats. It ain't even 70 degrees yet, so I'm lightly dusting this stuff. So it's getting a tack coat. And I got a 7-day window on this stuff to recoat itself. So what I'm doing is I'm lightly giving it a tack coat, and we'll go from there. And then by the time I get to the front, I can come back and I can put a light coat. I would rather put 7 or 8 light coats than 2 heavy coats and it take forever to dry. So, and then this stuff mixes 2 to 1.5, but I actually mixed it like 2 to 1 to 2. So I over reduced it just a little bit so it would spray through this 1.3 tip gun. And I sprayed a little bit earlier and it started to run. You see that right there where I got a little bit of drippage right there? Got a little drippage. I'm just trying to get all the bare metal covered in epoxy. So when the wool wax comes, it's black. And then I'm a wool wax, and I'm saying wool, W-O-O-L, wax. I'm gonna spray everything in wool wax. The whole bottom of the car will be wool wax, and it's gonna look really, really, really nice. So again, this is not a show car. This is a driver. This is a driver. This is not a show car. Now, you can actually do this in your backyard. You know, there's a lot of guys that's actually done the same thing, like 87 SS Boy. I'm sure there's some other people that's done it that I hadn't seen. But you can actually spray POR 15 too if you just buy a cheap Harbor Freight gun and reduce it by 10%. You can actually spray POR 15 too. You can use tractor enamel. You can use tractor enamel from Tractor Supply, but make sure you get the synthetic hardener and put in it, because if you don't put synthetic hardener in it, it's never going to dry. I mean, it's going to take forever. All right, Nathan, I'll answer your question. I see it now. Woolwax has two different formulas. They got a formula that stays pliable, and then they have a formula that gets wet. So just you can go check out whichever one. I'm getting the one that actually stays pliable. Is the one that they recommend I use. But they also recommend putting all the bare metal in epoxy. So that's what we're doing. And then when I recoat it, all this will be uniformed. All that will be uniformed back. So. gonna take a lot of coats. All right, let's phew. Let's we gotta go mix some more. All right, so for everybody that's freaking out, this car is not a show car, okay? This car is not a show car. And you're probably going, I can't believe he's doing what he's doing. Well, that's okay. That's fine. You know, there's a lot of things that I can't believe that people do, but they still do it. So this car is going to be the first car that I have actually used wool wax on. And I'm saying wool, W-O-O-L, wax, W-A-X, wax. They're in New Hampshire. It is a company that sells wool wax, and they have it in amber or straw color. They have it in black, and they have it in gray. They have it in a pliable form, or they have it in a form that actually gets dry. And what wool wax is, it is a undercoating system that protects the bottom of your vehicle, okay? They use a lot of it up north from saltwater, grime, you know, all the snow, the salt, the rust, and stuff like that. What I have read and done a lot of research on is undercoating, like the rubber tar undercoating, bed liner, or not bed liner, but the rattle can undercoating system that everybody's using, and I'm guilty of it too. I've used it before. It probably doesn't pertain that much down here in the south because we don't get the weather that they get up north. But what happened is that asphalt-based product is breathable. So what I have read and what I've seen is that asphalt-based material, which we're all guilty of using. I mean, hell, I got a can right here. I got a can right here. Rubberized undercoat. Okay. This stuff right here, everybody's used it, some shape, form, or fashion. I've used it. Everybody's used it. But what they have saying, you know, according to, I'm talking about up north, right? Up north. That stuff there doesn't really do anything for protection because it's still open and it still lets the salt water and the grime and everything get all the way in there. And rust is a living organism. Rust grows at 50% humidity, okay? 50% humidity. That's where rust grows at, right? And I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. Rust grows at 50% humidity, right? We're gonna let that flash off a little bit. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of information, and then we'll go mix up some more and we'll spray it, all right? Rust grows at 50% humidity, right? And I'm gonna prove it to you right here. It's in the book. It's in the book. It's in the book that I teached at the college. It's the book that I got trained by PPG. Look here. Look. Right here. When left unprotected, bare metal begins to oxidize, aka flash rust, after 30 minutes at 50% relative humidity. Oxidation, 30 minutes at 50% humidity. See? It's right there in the book. Same thing in the book. Okay? Same thing in the book. So, yeah, CRE 321, CRE 321 is gray, CRE 921 is black, CREX 21 is white, and you can mix them together to get your ground coats. I use CRE from bare metal all the way up to sealer. So when it comes time, I use CRE for high build primer or high build epoxy. It mixes 2 to 1.5. It has like a 60% solid content. So if you mix it 2 to 1.5 and you spray it with like a 2.0 tip and it builds like 14 mils per coat. If you put 3 mils on it, let's just say 10 mils per coat, you put 3 mils on it, that's 30 mils of high build. And then when it dries, you're gonna when it dries, you're gonna get maybe 10 if it's 10 mils, I'm just throwing numbers out here because I'd have to pull the sheet up. Let's just say it's 10 mils wet, right? So you put 1 coat on there, it's 10 mils wet. Once everything evaporates and all the solids, you might have 6.5, 7 mils plus or minus, depending on how you spray, of build, right? 1 mil is the thickness of the cellophane pack on a cigarette pack. That's 1 mil. So if you got 7 mil thickness, CRE will fill in small pits, right? So that's what I use. So with the CRE for bare metal, it's on commercial coatings on PPG side. So it's actually commercial coatings, and it's what they use on bulldozers, skid steers, bridge decks, stuff like that. Then what happened was when the restoration world started coming around and all that stuff was going, PPG had to have something to stay ahead of the game. So what they did is they took CRE 321 and they brought it back to the lab and they added more UV protection in it. They slapped a label on it and they called it Vibrance 2050. For years, everybody argued with me that CRE 321 and Vibrance 2050 wasn't the same. Argued with me for years until they blew in the face. And then all of a sudden, bam, They found out that CRE 321 is Vibrant's 2050 big brother, and a lot of them called and apologized, but a lot of them didn't. Hey man, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. So that's that. So I normally would spray the bottom of a vehicle. Now, if it was bare metal, right? If it was bare metal, like if everything was bare metal, the bottom of the cat, like that 68 C10, bare metal, right? Bare metal. I epoxied it. I put bed liner on it, or Raptor, or Quartz, or Sims, and then I let that flash off, and then I cleared it. Just like on the bed, done the exact same thing. That's different. That's actually kind of like a show truck kind of thing, right? If you really want to get like really show wise, do all the body work on the bottom of the car, make the bottom of the car the slickest as the top of the car, and color match it. So when you look it up, it looks just like the top of the car is slick. That is like full blown show car. But if you're just doing a driver, like a nice driver, I was trying to find something that would be a little bit more beneficial to my clients on the pocket and on looking on the pocket, and still have the protection. Well, this 63 Impala is a perfect candidate. The 68 Le Mans, perfect candidate. So I reached out to Wool Wax, and I talked to them, and I told them what I wanted to do, and told them what I normally do, and they said this. They said, if you knock all the rough stuff off the bottom of the car, it don't have to be completely stripped down to bare bones. Just knock all the loose stuff off. Epoxy everything that's in bare metal, and then use our kit to spray the bottom of the car, suspension parts and everything. It comes with a wand where you can run it up into, and I'm not saying wand like W-A-U-N, I'm saying wand, W-A-N-D. I'm not saying wand like J-A-U-N, I'm saying wand, like wand, W-A-N, wand. Right? The world's going on with this fan out here, right? So that's what I'm saying. And it comes with an applicator wand that has a 360-degree head on it, and you can run it up into the frame rails and put wax inside the frame rails to keep it rusting from the inside. You can do inside the rocker panels. So they told me that a 2.5-gallon kit would do the bottom of this 63 Impala. Now the engine bay, we're gonna make nice. We're gonna sand the firewall. We're gonna make it real nice, and we're gonna paint the engine bay like a satin black or underhood black. So when that new engine's in there and you pop the hood, it's gonna be like a jewelry box. It's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be nice, right? So we're not really worried about the firewall right now. So we're gonna do the bottom of the car, the suspension parts. The rack and pinion is probably gonna get replaced because it's leaking pretty bad, but I gotta figure out which one's on it and then measure it and then get a new one. So not really worried about that. That's why I taped up the boots. And then we're gonna go from there. So that's that. The next thing is, when the Wool Wax comes, they said a 2.5-gallon kit would do this bottom of this car. All right, so the kit's like $300 for the kit. You get the gun, the applicator gun, U-tube, the applicator gun. You get the nozzles and all that stuff to do in there, and you get a 2.5-gallon bucket to do the bottom of the car. Now, let's fast forward. If I was doing bed liner, the Quartz bed liner kit right now is over $200, and you get 5 liters. Well, to do the bottom of this car, I'd have to get 2 kits. So let's just say $600 for the bed liner, and then you got all this. So it would be well over $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 to do the bottom of this car, right? And then if you wanted it shiny or whatever, you'd have to spray clear coat. So you would easily have like $2,000 in the bottom of this car, right? So with the Wool Wax, it's 300, like 200, I think it's let's just say $300 a kit. They said a 2.5-gallon kit would do the bottom of this car. Well, that's between that and what I just done today is gonna be less than half. You know what I'm saying? be less than half price, right? Plus or minus. So I'm really excited about using this stuff. So we got that ordered yesterday. Also, let's see, and I got the fans on, and we're going from there. So all this will be wool. I'm gonna epoxy this, but all this will be wool wax, and that wool wax is pretty thick. So it's gonna give it y'all have to Google it and look on YouTube about spraying wool wax. It's gonna make the whole bottom of this car more uniformed. And once it's all uniform, it's gonna look a whole lot better. It's gonna look a whole lot better on the bottom of the car. Right now, I'm just putting a little bit of tack coat of epoxy. We're gonna replace the shocks, so I'm not really worried about them. And then we're just gonna keep spraying. If we get any overspray over on the rotors, I'll clean those off. I'm not gonna waste the tape and pin. I'll just spray some brake clean on it and it'll be good. But the bottom of the car will be one uniform thing. I gotta fix this rust spot over here, so I have to cut all that out and fix that. On that, and then same thing on this. But in the engine bay, right? The engine bay is gonna be nice, super nice, cleaned up, cleaned up and painted. So I've not used wool wax before. I've done a lot of reading on wool wax. So with that being said, let's go down here and mix up some more of this stuff, and then we'll go from there. We'll spray another coat on there. Y'all know I like to keep my lives at 60 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down here and we're gonna mix another cup. Mix another cup up, and then we'll spray one more coat, and then we'll end this live, and then we'll check on some stuff and see what we got going on. Then we'll check back in here and go from there. So with that being said, all right, I'm in the mixing room now. So let's mix up some, I'm gonna sit y'all right here. Sit y'all right here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? What about the Flintstone? This is what CRE looks like right here. CRE 321 right there. They changed the label. It used to say commercial coatings, but they changed the label. It's corrosion resistant epoxy right there. And then here's the hardener. There's the hardener, CRE 211H. It says that you can use acetone. You can use acetone as the as a reducer. If you're going to use acetone for a reducer, the colder months are better. And what I mean, like if it's over 70 some degrees, 75 some degrees, don't use acetone. Don't use acetone. It dries too fast. Use a nice reducer. Either use well, it ain't DT no more. I got old cans, but use a reducer. If you have to, you can drop down the shop line. You can use shop line reducer. Don't use Omnia Plus. It's garbage. So that's that, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. So we got that mixed up. So don't take long when you got your stuff on you. Let's walk back up here and get ready to spray another light coat on this thing. You know what? I never got that spanner wrench yesterday for the coilovers. So I don't know what he's got going on there. So it is what it is. Today's Thursday, and I didn't even know today's Thursday. Oh yeah, and today's September 11th. don't forget about that neither. You know, that's neither here or there. Like I said, we're not just keep everybody. So let's get back to it and get my mask on and go on there and spray another light coat. Appreciate you, Mac. All dressed in black. His name is Mac. We're getting there. Hold on a second. Well, this is actually a 2K epoxy, corrosion resistant. I use fluid film on my truck. I heard bad reviews on fluid film. Um, I looked into Andrew. I looked into fluid film. I just read a bunch of bad reviews on it, and a lot of people that actually use it. Wool wax is supposed to be superior to all of it, so we'll just have to see. This is 2K epoxy, and then the wool wax. When the wool wax gets here, we're gonna spray the whole bottom of the car in wool wax. So it should be here in the next little bit. It got ordered yesterday, so probably one day next week maybe, and then we'll spray that. This right here is just a 2K epoxy. Just a 2K epoxy. We're gonna let that. We're at the 77-minute or 73-minute mark. Like I said, we're gonna let that flash off and go from there. So, and then we'll come back after a while, and then we'll do some more. All this will be wool wax, so all this will be uniform with the wool wax. But we're trying to get all the frame and stuff that's in bare metal from the media blaster in epoxy, and then like all this in bare metal, we got to get all this in epoxy, and then we're gonna wool wax the whole bottom of the car, and then we've already started shaving the firewall. And then we're gonna make the firewall, we're gonna make the engine bay really, really nice, and we're gonna paint it really, really nice. So, but everything else is gonna get wool wax, the rack and pinion. The ends are leaking, so we're gonna figure out what rack and pinion they put on here and replace it. We put aluminum foil over the airbags so they wouldn't get no spray on them. So, boys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And I'll be back here in just a little bit, and we'll go for round two. But I appreciate everybody for tapping in. It's 11 o'clock, so we'll probably come back at 2. We'll probably come back. I don't want to tell you what time and not be back. So I got a few things I got to do, and then we'll get back to it. So I appreciate every single one of you, boys and girls. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We almost at 7,000. Remember I said don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag.